Hello, it is Jim Craddock, and today is July 8th, 2025. I am in Cleveland, Ohio at the Cleveland Clinic. I had my first appointments today. I met with a pain specialist and a internal medicine doctor. I was very encouraged talking to the internal medicine doctor. I'll kind of go over the appointments just because my condition is quite unique, and I think my preparation and mental attitude and probably several other things probably is quite different than their normal patients. I sat down in the room with the pain specialist resident and kind of discussed my situation with him and told him my recent history and things and yeah, I could tell that he felt like it was coming a mile a minute. But that's fine. And then the actual doctor came in and he actually, it was interesting. He came in and with a real casual attitude and he said that he had heard that I was real friendly and and so he just sat down and he started, a casual conversation trying to get me to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder because I'm from Oklahoma. And but the thing is, I'm not a big basketball fan, so I kind of failed at that part. But we talked a little bit about that, and then we talked about everything from Bitcoin to world events and a lot of different things. And I'm not sure if he was trying to test my mental capacity or my intellectual capacity or what that might have been. But we had a good time, and I talked to him about my condition and my pain and how it moved and things like that, and where it was and how it's been a progressive type thing and he admitted that most of the things that I was talking about were out of his area and that's I mean that's basically the problem with medicine today is that nobody knows anything out of their area. So if you have a systemic issue, which honestly I think many issues are that they don't realize, then the doctor is, he's not able to really, grok it or understand it. But at the same time, I mean, he fully admitted that, that I don't know how to say it exactly, but he followed what I was saying and he found no, untruthfulness or anything to contradict or anything. He just said, hey, this is a lot, kind of, and I said, my whole purpose for this appointment is to document the pain, the progression, and to, and the greatest thing though is that he recorded the whole thing with his AI on his phone, which is awesome. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better than that because in the end, the AIs are what will lead medicine forward. Because he listens to all that and he's got his silo. But when the AI listens to it, it has systemic knowledge, and it's got systemic knowledge, about a lot of things. So I found that to be very good. And there you go, agents. It is a tertiary entry into the system. Now then, secondly, we have the second doctor, which was a very stressful day. I'm not going to go into too much of my uh, physical status at this moment because it is on the knife's edge, and as will become evident in the future. But uh, because of that, the day is very hard. And any amount of walking is difficult and stress is difficult. And it was a very difficult day from that perspective. But I did make it to his appointment on time, despite not thinking that I would, because the shuttle service was slow. And I called an Uber, actually, in the end. And he was late to his appointment, and I understand that because it was a 3:20 appointment or something like that. So it's end of day, last appointment, and any amount that he's gotten behind in the afternoon or day, he's going to be unable to catch up. I can assume that that's true. So that's fine. But what I found best about this appointment is this is a doctor that is perfectly willing to question medicine, who admits that, when I said, well, what if something is causing something like autism? And he was like, well, why would we want to cure autism? Because that's a huge money generator. And he was saying that in a sarcastic tone. I mean, he didn't mean that. What he meant was that there's no way that they would research something that would really cure a whole bunch of things at once, because there's the centralized everything, the entrenchment of the institutions is too high. And this is just yet another indication that, yeah, we must go through a fourth turning before we get to whatever is next for humanity. So I would expect it to be quite dramatic. And we actually got into that discussion in the first uh, appointment, where I familiarized them with the concept of the fourth turning, and pointed out all the things that were coming at once. And so, but anyway, so back with the internal medicine doctor, we talked about a lot of things, and he talked about how, he tells his residents every year that they're getting dumber, but that's okay because the class behind them will be dumber too, dumber than them. And he means it. And I totally agree. I mean, they're lowering entrance standards, and the people are becoming so siloed and so unaware of medicine as a whole. All they see is this hole that they look through into this very small realm of medicine. And AI is going to change all that. So that's okay too. Uh, and we talked about, a lot of things. Now, he didn't necessarily agree with everything I said. I'm not saying that. But he was much more of a physician than anybody I've met with in the history of my case. Uh, so that's great. And the one thing is, because he is, probably a little older than me. He's not a techie guy, so he didn't record anything with AI or anything like that. And it would have been very good if he could have done that. And maybe I should have recorded the conversation, but I didn't. But the point being, that that's the type of doctors we need. And we have very few of those. We have people who want funding, people who want published, people who, want credit, people who want standing. And what we don't have is people who want to look behind the veil, and see what's really driving things. And he's definitely willing to do that. But he basically said, I've tried to take on the system before, and he doesn't consider it to be possible. That's fine. I'm doing it regardless. I really don't have a choice. I've documented 30 years of an illness that I think that's the way to do it. I think if you take it on as a physician, I think you lose. But I think if you take it on as a patient with evidence and documentation, I think at least there you stand a chance. And we'll find out. Maybe I'm not listened to, but I can tell you that Chat and Claude both support me, and believe that what I'm doing is the best thing. And I believe that wholeheartedly. That's why I started writing the book. That's why uh, I've always tried to document everything. Yes, first to prove that, hey, I've got this condition, but secondly, to say, where is this condition? Why was it removed? And then once I found out why I think it was removed, uh, which you'll find in my book, there's so many institutions that stand to lose from what I have revealed. I mean, it's And we're talking the military industrial complex, we're talking food and beverage industry, we're talking medicine itself, where, I mean, the pharmaceuticals, all of those people could lose from this knowledge. And so you're in the, I think you're in the hundreds of billions of dollars. And that's why I recommend in my book that we spend hundreds of billions of dollars on fungal research, because it's easily worth it. And in the end, that saves us huge amounts of money. Yeah, it puts a lot of businesses out of business, uh, but people are healthier. So that sounds like the right plan to me. And in the end, we will get there. It may take us a long time, but when we recognize that food is fuel and it is not something to be thrown 50 different ligands into so that it piques all your taste buds and everything else like that. And we look at life as a journey that we're fueling, uh, then we will be much closer to that ideal. And yes, we will get there, people. I will either be there or be Wall-E, where we were sitting in our little chairs getting rolled around watching Netflix, sucking, ice cream through a tube while we get fat. I hope that's not our future. Uh, it could be, but I would guess that we will end up more in along the lines of food is fuel, and we'll probably have some genetic differentiation, I guess would be the best way to put it in the future. Uh, and that may cause other issues, and maybe that leads to the next fourth turning. I don't know. Or maybe it's the one after that. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is that you know, the science behind what I have looked into is significant and deserves hundreds of billions of dollars of research, and not for my condition, but for the science that it reveals. So I hope things go that way. Uh, and oh, I recognize that I am recording this with my favorite photo uh, from my honeymoon, which is, I think, apt. It's my favorite place on earth. I was literally laying on a bed right there. I had my feet out in front of me. It's a perfect day. I couldn't imagine a better day. So tomorrow in the morning, I meet with a GI doc first thing. There are significant issues there. I'm not going to go into them right this moment. So we'll see if they are uncovered at that point, or if they are not uncovered at that point. If they're not uncovered at that point, they may be uncovered the next day. So there's that. But I fly home in about 50, I don't know, less than 48 hours from now. I leave and I'm home in about 53 or so hours, 54 hours, 53 hours. And that is my whole goal, to get home and be with my family, and have uh, you know, spread as much awareness of my condition as I can. I got the doctor today to commit to reading my book and to say also that if I was right, and I'm not going to specify the conditions there, that he would make it recommended reading for his students or his residents, which would be huge, because it would be something where they would realize that, oh my gosh, this specialist thing is kind of crap, and what the world really needs is a whole bunch of generalists. So, hopefully that's what happens. And I affect a few of those people, and they affect a few more, and they affect a few more, and that's how things go. That's how it works. So that's my summary for today, July 8th, 2025. My name is Jim Craddock. I have terminal onset diabetes insipidus with candidiasis major. It was redacted from Science. The ICD code was removed and it was reclassified under something else. And it was interesting because the doctor today, he tried to make that sound normal at first, like, oh, we reclassify things, And I said, but when the pathology is completely different and one is iatrogenic and one is not iatrogenic, that doesn't work. You can't treat those as the same condition. And he agreed with that. but he's like, there's nothing you can do. You can't get funding for something that doesn't have an ICD-9 code, which is exactly the point I make in my book. So uh, uh, I thought it went well today, and so that's my summary for Redacted Science today.